Hello everybody, what is up? This is the Ethan Maverick here, back from another video, and today we're going to be talking about an application called Virtualbox. Now, if you want to get Virtualbox, the download for it can easily be found online. I'll probably leave a link for it in the description if you want to go and check it out there. Now, so anytime I try to explain Virtualbox to anyone, they always get like really confused, and it's kind of annoying. So in this video, I'm gonna try and explain what Virtualbox is in as much detail as as I can. So in order to understand Virtualbox, we first have to understand what an operating system is. A large portion of the population knows what a quote-unquote operating system is, but there's a lot of people who don't. If you have a computer, more than likely you use an operating system. The operating system I use is Windows 10. You probably use Windows 10 too. Windows is made by Microsoft, but Windows is an operating system. There's many different versions of Windows. There's like Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 8, and Windows 10. There's a lot more than that. Those are just a few. Most of the world uses Windows, but Windows is actually not the only operating system in the world. There's a lot of other operating systems. You have Macintosh, if you use a Mac or MacBook or anything like that. A lot of computers nowadays have Linux on them, and don't even get me started on like the wide, like vast variety of different like versions and like types of Linux operating systems. There are a bunch of different kinds, and there are also like a couple other smaller ones, but yeah, so basically that's what an operating system is. Now, normally, by default, a computer will only let you have one operating system. Virtualbox allows you to have literally as many as you want. So, like, for example, let me just start the application here. So, I have 6 different operating systems on my computer. And let me just tell you, I do not have a very good computer. In fact, I have a crap computer that was literally made before I was born. I'm 15 years old, so that would make my computer that I have 16 years old. I was born in 2004, my computer was made in 2003. It has 4 gigs of RAM and a quad i2 core or something like that. So as you can imagine, it's really slow. Yet, I can still run 2 or 3 operating systems on my computer at once using Virtualbox. And so basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run you through a very simple step-by-step process on how to install a small operating system. Normally, if you want to install like a big operating system like Windows or something, you'll have to go through this whole like big installation process. Usually those are like pretty simple to like figure out. I'm just going to be showing you how to get it set up so you can install it. Now, I'm going to be installing a small Linux operating system. I'm just gonna call it DSL. That's what most people call it. They call it DSL. I can't actually give you the full name of it because the full name of the operating system might kind of have a yucky word in it, and this is a Christian Minecraft server, so we're not gonna say those words here. So basically, whenever you want to install a new operating system inside of Virtualbox, you usually have to start out with a file called an ISO file. And an ISO file is basically like like a file that has all of the operating system's files on it compressed into one file, and as ISO files are usually very large. They usually end up being like multiple gigabytes. Now, if you know anything about like data sizes, 1 gigabyte is a pretty decent amount of storage. However, with the operating system I'm going to be installing, now DSL is actually known for being like super small, and the operating system is actually only 50 megabytes large, which, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's literally the smallest operating system in the world. So that's like a really small operating system. And it doesn't really have any real process to install the operating system. Like, you just boot it up and run, like as simple as that. So now I'm going to take you through the small step-by-step process on how to set up a new operating system on your computer. I'm going to press new, and then so first we need to give it a name. I'm going to name it DSL, and normally Virtualbox will automatically choose all the operating system type and version settings for you, but if it doesn't, basically you just need to go choose the type of operating system you're going to be installing. So if you're installing like Windows 7, you would say Microsoft Windows. If you're going to install a version of Macintosh, you'll say Mac OS. But in our case, it's going to be Linux, and then you'll choose the version of it, which it normally should tell you the version that it is whenever you're installing the ISO file. But normally you shouldn't have to worry about that. Normally it should just like choose the settings automatically. So now we're going to press next. So now we have to give it a certain amount of RAM. Now, if you don't know what RAM is random access memory. Just to put it in a super simple way, RAM is basically the amount of applications you can have open at once. So as I said before, my computer has 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is equivalent to 4,096 megabytes. There's around 1,000 megabytes in 1 gigabyte, and normally you don't want to give the new operating system anything over half of your computer's RAM. So since I'm installing a pretty small operating system, I'm only going to give it like one gigabyte of random access memory, which will be about 1,000 megabytes. So now we're going to press next, and now we need to make a hard drive. Now, this is basically going to be like a virtual hard drive. If you don't know what a hard drive is, let me just explain it to you. A computer has to have some kind of thing that can store files so that it can run an operating system on it. It can be a hard drive, it could be a DVD, it could be a flash drive. It just has to be able to store files, and it has to have the right kind of files. So basically, we're going to be making a virtual hard drive. So we're going to choose create a virtual hard disk now, press create, and I don't think it matters too much which one of these you choose. I usually go with virtual hard disk. I'm going to press next. Dynamically it's allocated means that it will use space whenever it needs to, but it will still have like a cap that it has a max at that you can't go over. A fixed size will takes longer to make, but they're a lot faster to use because it just has all the free this open space that's free to use all at once. Normally, as I choose dynamically as allocated because it's not really that slow. So now press next, and so we need to give the hard drive a name. DSL is fine, and 4 gigabytes will be fine since the operating system is literally only 50 megabytes. I have over 3 terabytes of space on my computer anyway, so I'm perfectly fine when it comes to space. Alright, so now the operating system is made. Oh, failed to save the settings. Okay, we're not gonna worry about that. So now the operating system is made. One of the nice things about Virtualbox is that you can do basically whatever you want inside of another operating system, but it still won't affect your host operating system. So I can install Windows 7 as a virtual machine, and I could literally kill the operating system. I could delete all the files and the entire operating system. I could delete System 32 and basically kill the operating system so that no matter what you do, the operating system is not bootable whatsoever. But my host operating system, it's still fine. So that's why a lot of people like Virtualbox, because you can do whatever you want inside the other operating systems and you'll be fine. So a lot of people who are geeks and nerds like me like to experiment with other operating systems. Alright, so now we just have a couple more settings to change. We'll just click on settings here, and we need to go to storage. We'll just go ahead. What is all this here? We don't need this. Okay, you know what? We're just going to completely get rid of that controller. We're going to add a SATA controller, which is basically going to be for a hard drive. Okay. So by getting rid of that other thing that I had, I kind of accidentally deleted the virtual hard drive as well. So I'm just going to remake it real quick. Nothing to worry about. Okay. That's odd. Hold on. I can fix this here, I promise. Alright, so now I think I may have fixed it. We're gonna find out. There we go, now it works. Alright, so now I just need to add one more controller. IDE controller, need to add a disk. And so now, so this is the part where you navigate to the ISO file that you have, and you're just gonna choose it, and then you need to make it show up in the IDE controller right there. So now we press OK, and so now I believe it should be good to go. So we're gonna start it up and we're gonna see what happens here. If it doesn't work right away, that's okay, because luckily Virtualbox makes it super simple and easy to change settings on the go. So it's now booting up now. Oh, and there we go. I believe it has successfully started, at least. DSL. 50 megabytes says press enter to begin. So we'll press enter. Alright, so now it's just gonna do a couple terminal commands, scan for some things, do whatever it needs to do. Alright, there we go, it's now starting up. And here we go, this is DSL. Now, as I said before, DSL is a very, very small operating system. It has a file manager, it has a terminal, it does have a web browser, it has a couple other like smaller tools you can use, and DSL seems to be running perfectly fine. So yeah, that is how you have multiple operating systems on one computer. If you want to download Virtual Machine, the link to it will be down in the description, and so will the ISO file for DSL. You can grab both of those off of there, and yeah. So now I think I have 7 operating systems on here, so that's always nice. I have like all kinds of different operating systems on here. I have MS-DOS 3.30, Windows 1.0, which was literally the first operating system Microsoft like ever made. It came out in 1985, so the operating system is over 30 years old. I have Kali Linux, Windows 7, the Chrome OS used on like Chromebooks, and now I have DSL, which is a very small version of Linux. So yeah, that's just about it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, then you learned a lot from it. Please do hit that like button, and if you're new around here to my channel, please do consider subscribing for more content like this. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see all you dudes in the next video. Bye.